Hello, I welcome you to today's episode of the Inspired Woman Show. This is your host, Dr. Chinwe Okudo, a transformational life purpose coach and a healthcare provider. I am happy you're able to join on today's episode. I want to thank everyone that was able to tune in last week to our show where I had our guest Mary Wang, where we discussed on how to avoid toxic relationships, purposeful relationships. Being that this is a month of love, I know not a lot of people are opportune to have that beautiful love experience. Some people have found themselves in toxic relationships or wrong relationships that have been tearing them down, especially in this month where a lot of people are celebrating what true love is. Some women out there are in sorrow in this very month because they don't have the kind of relationship that they will wish to have. This is the reason why I decided to talk about relationships in this month. I have been focusing on healthy living for year 2021, at least for the first part of the year, before moving into other topics. But I felt led to divert into talking about relationships in this month in particular. So today's topic is actually like a follow-up from what we did the last week, and the topic for today is actually taken from my new book, Celebrate Your Uniqueness. Lady, you are good enough. So I wanted to talk about today's topic from this book, and what we're talking about today is how to find inner peace that builds confidence. And I have a chapter of my book, chapter 5 of my book talks about that. So I'm gonna kind of do my teaching from the chapter 5 of my book. So in case if you haven't gotten the book, it's on Amazon. It's I don't know, I hope you can see it clearly. Let me see if I get that. So it's on Amazon. It's Celebrate Your Uniqueness. Lady, you are good enough. Positive self-esteem, your secret to greatness. A lot of people that have read this book have so much good to say about the book. It's a very powerful tool to help you rebuild your self-confidence, find your self-esteem, and delve into your greatness. Because as we know, self-esteem, self-confidence is very important for us to be able to achieve the greatness that God has proposed for us and to delve into our purpose in life. So, like we all know, for those of you that listened to the last episode or were able to tune in, I talked about when you're in an abusive relationship or in a toxic relationship, one of the things that happens is that your mind gets clouded. And once your mind gets clouded, it's kind of hard to find that peace that you need to give you the confidence you need to fight for your life or to push forward. So that's one of the things that happens when you find yourself in toxic relationships. So it's very important that you learn tools to help you find that inner peace that you need and to build the confidence that it takes to be able to stand up for yourself and take your life back. So some of the tips that I'm going to be sharing today, like I said, is from the book Celebrate Your Uniqueness. And for this chapter 5, it talks about how important finding inner peace is, especially at the moment where you are not getting what you want out of life. It clouds your mind. It's a very delicate place to be. So it's very important that you find a way to rebuild your confidence by finding that inner peace that can give you that confidence that you need. So what are the ways? One of the ways that you can find that inner peace. For me, one of the things that I shared that actually is not on this book, but one of the things that really helped me was worship. I talked about that in the last episode. Worship is very important in helping you to find peace, especially when your mind is clouded, when you're going through things. Once you can be able to step into the atmosphere of worshiping God, it kind of helps you to lift up that burden off of your shoulder. Well, how do you worship if you don't even have a relationship with God? So like we shared in the last episode, it's very important that you have a relationship with God. If you're dealing with a toxic relationship, find God first. I remember after the time that I went through the last ordeal that I went through in my marriage, one lady called me and said, can you tell me how you were able to deal with your situations and was able to come out of it? And I said, I'll give you 3 prayer lines that I was joining, and another thing that I did was to worship. She didn't believe me. She said, I'll call you back, and never called me back. But that was what I did. I worshiped, I stayed in worship, and I stayed in prayer, and that really helped me. But there are other things also that can help you. And one of that is to focus your mind on things that you can control. You know, sometimes when we find ourselves in situations that are beyond our control, we start trying to analyze every single part of it, trying to figure out every answer, trying to solve the problem by ourselves, when we know very well that we cannot solve the problem by ourselves. I like what the Word of God said in Matthew chapter 6 verse 27. Which of you, by being anxious, can add a cubit to your stature? You see, when we're anxious about things that we don't have control over, we're not going to be able to do anything with that, because we can't even change that situation. So why not focus on things that you have control over and not things that you do not have control over? If you cannot fix the problem, then focus your eyes on the one that can help you solve the problem. And for me, I found that help in God. So that's who I focused on. So a lot of details more of what the book says. It says, why worry about things that you can't control? Feeling bad about things you cannot control makes it hard for you to have the inner peace that you need. So focus on things that you cannot change. You just have to accept that you cannot change that, and do not worry about it, because it spoils your mood and makes you feel less capable. It takes your power away. When you feel helpless, it takes your power away, and you don't have the strength to fight for your life or to stand in prayer for that situation. So please do not worry about things that you do not have control over. The next tip that I have on this book is being true to yourself. Sometimes we live our life not being true to ourselves. We live in a way that is not congruent to our values in life. We want to live in a way that pleases others instead of in a way that will benefit us and the purpose of God for our lives. Sometimes we want to live for other people. We want to make our decisions based on what other people will say. And when you live your life based on what other people will say, you will never find peace until you step into the level of understanding that sometimes, or most times, people are always going to have an opinion. You have to check for yourself what is good for you. What is the best situation? What is God saying about this? Hear from God. Make your decisions and move on. You're never gonna get everybody's approval with whatever situation that you find yourself. If you're looking for the situation whereby everybody is on your team and applauding you for a decision that you made, you are gonna be in that bad situation for a very long time. So seek the face of God. Hear from God. Whatever God tells you to do it, not knowing very well that some people are gonna oppose your decisions. Make your own decision and stand by it, because you know who have told you what you're doing, which is your God. And it still all boils down to making sure that you have a relationship with God, because when you have a relationship with God, you can be able to pray and He can give you specific directions that you need to follow that will bring you the results that you need. So learn to be true to yourself and follow your heart and not what other people have to say about your decisions. Another thing that will be very helpful for you to help you find that inner peace is to eat healthy. Yes, when you're in a very bad situation, your immune system is depleted because your emotions and your mood and everything is down. So is your immune system. So it's very important that at that point that you find the time to eat healthy. I talked about one of the episodes where I talked about the food that are anti-inflammatory, but again, they're not just anti-inflammatory, they also help your immune system. So invest yourself in eating berries, fruits and veggies that can help you to rebuild your immune system, that will give you the nutrient that you need to be strong, to be emotionally stable and sound, to be able to stand and think clearly. When your body is weak because of lack of nutrients, your mind is going to be clouded. Your mood is not going to be right. Your body is weak. You cannot even have the strength and energy that you need to be able to fight the battles that you found yourself in. If it's about praying, you need, sometimes there are level of prayers that you pray you need energy to pray those kind of prayers. Sometimes we have to go into fasting. That's understandable. But when you finish fasting, and you need to make sure that you're feeding yourself with the right nutrient and eating healthy, so that your body is healthy and not broken down out of the trauma you found yourself in. Another important tip here is going to be exercise. I know when your mood is down, it's hard to exercise because sometimes you don't even want to get out of bed. You just want to be in bed and don't want to do nothing. But I encourage you to try your best to get up, do maybe 15 minutes exercise. Exercise can help to clear your mind. It helps you to find out is when you work out and you burn calories and you sweat, it helps to reset your mind and help you to kind of find that inner peace that you need and be able to think clearly. So find time, even if it's 5-10 minutes, do something, do some workout. It helps you to think clearly. Another important tip that I have here is to be assertive. So what do I mean by that? So be open and forward with your needs and desires. You know, you are not only more likely to get what you want, but you will also feel more in control of your life. Sometimes when we are in a situation that is considered bad or toxic, sometimes we tend not to have an opinion. We just want to shut up and listen to what anybody and everybody has to say. Like we don't have our own minds anymore. Like it's other people that can now think for us. We do not have any thoughts in our head, and we just sit and listen to what everybody else has to say. No, you have to be assertive. You have to be upfront with your own desires. You know what you want. You know what you need. Speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself and do what seems right for you to do. Speak, open your mouth and speak your own truth, and speak for yourself what you know is your own truth and what you know is good for you. Don't let people speak for you in situations like that. You got to open your mouth and speak for yourself, because only you know the pain and what is going on in your heart. So you have to be able to open your mouth and speak for your own self. Another important tip that I have here is meditation. It still boils down to finding your place. Meditation can help you to find that calmness that you need to be able to gain your confidence back. When you wake up in the morning and you spend time, quality quiet time to meditate, to spend time with your Creator, it helps you to reset your mind. It helps you to be able to connect, to hear what God is speaking to you. Spend time in meditation. Don't just get up and just start going about your business. I've talked about this severally. Meditation is a powerful tool that helps you to find that inner peace that you so desire, especially when your mind is clouded. So do not wake up and run out without spending time to try to reconnect with your Creator, the one that has made you. Spend time each morning to meditate, to connect yourself to the one that made you, so that you can be able to get your mind right and find that inner peace that you need to find the confidence it takes to stand up for yourself and to be able to do the right thing for yourself. The final tip that I'm going to talk about is avoid trying to change others. Like I said during my last episode, sometimes you can have a better success changing the weather than changing a grown person. Quit trying to change people. You cannot change anybody unless God changes them. So stop trying to change anybody. Work on your own self. Find things about yourself that you need to change. Sometimes when we are going through things, there might be parts that we are playing. So take time to find, what is it that I'm not doing right? What is it that I can change? What is it that I can do better at? But do not think you can ever change anybody else. Do not ever think that you can make anybody do anything. Know that the only person you have the right or power to change is yourself and not anybody else. So work on changing you, but not trying to change anybody, because you'll be so frustrated, you will lose your peace. So the best way and one of the good ways to find your inner peace is to work on changing you, not anybody else. So I hope these tips were helpful. There are so many tips on my book, Celebrate Your Uniqueness, that helps you to find your confidence and rebuild your self-esteem. So if you've not gotten the book, it's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Nobles, it's on my website, inspiredtobecome.com. Get it, and it's a powerful tool to help you to rebuild your confidence, because self-esteem is your secret to greatness, and you need to have the right self-esteem, right positive self-esteem, right confidence that it takes to step into your purpose and your greatness. I thank you once again for joining me on this episode. Do not forget to share. Do not forget to click that subscribe button if you have not clicked it yet. Share. It's always a pleasure to do these episodes, because I know that always somebody benefits from it. And I am always here for that, even if it's just one person that benefits from this. I thank you once again. God bless you. Bye-bye.